Hi, back again. We start. So last we did this house, but some with the unwrap was not absolutely correct. So we go here to our house. It was this shop hit there, so we get to this shop material there and go in here. We make a complete new unwrap. So when I want to see this face, I see it is here. So we see that it isn't fixed there, so it needs a size. Now we have here 100 to 100. Now only the location must be more fitting with that. Before we do that, we go here to the size of 200. Then we go a little to the left or right. When you hold shift key on the numpad, on the keyboard, you have a more control of the fineness of the scroll. So now we have it there where it should, and we can render that. When we look here in the preview render, it's there where it should. Good. The other thing was the side of the house there, the tires was in the wrong direction there. So you see this face here that we have, and we have only that space to handle them. So we can here simply take that one and rotate them to the position that we need. But then we must scale them down that it stands in this part there. Good. Here you see this face that we can rotate 180 degrees, then that is done. And here's the same like on the other side. Get them, rotate them to the position that you need, and scale them down so that it fits with this hole here that you have to place for that texture. Here, same thing. Here you only have to rotate 180. Then it goes from top to down. Here's the same. Rotate 180. Rotate 180. So it goes from top to down, and the same we have to do here. A to select all, rotate 180. The down face 2. A to select all, rotate 180 is done. Good. So we have merged out all our failures. File, save. Now we can render. So we go here to we can bake. So in the render view we can take here bake, and that will be it. That takes now a while. Baking takes much time. And when you see the word count, 3200. So that is a middle poly house. It's not low poly. You see it here. There are real windows and real stones and real water transfer there. That is what makes them as high in the word count. So that isn't possible to use such big houses for a game or so, because you have only 20,000 words for one frame, 1 second in a game, and maximum. And when you have a house from 3,000, that is too much. You must count. There are cars, there are dogs, or animals, or humans, or some else. and that all needs words. And when the house has 3000, what has the dog or the character? The character can live with 300 words up. 300 is very less, 1000 is good for a character, and then you must calculate. And in the game you have the option when you come near to some object, you can place there um, three different versions of an house that is called LOD, level of detail. And when you go near to it, it has the high poly version. When you go far away, then comes the middle poly, and when you get far away, then comes the low poly object. That's called LOD, level of detail. In the game engine of Blender, you can use that. Good. And as we see, our shop is in there. The things are returned. That is all okay. File, save. So, may you ask first, here is this little star by image. You have to save the image. Good. Then we have now here this much materials, but we have baked, so we don't need the materials anymore. So I can delete them all. We have a white one. Each of these materials is in the memory each time, and that makes the computer slow. And now we only need one texture to texture the whole house. So new, call it bake texture. Bake texture. Oh, without that hashtag. Good. We can take here principal shader, we can make here high roughness, we can get here this image, that baked one. So that is here, UV map next house. That is it, and you see that fits perfectly, and it looks directly as before, but we have only one texture in the memory, and that is less than 6 or 8 different textures to hold in the memory. Good. So we have done the middle poly house. Now the next way is to make from there a low poly house. Yeah, you don't believe it, but we're not ready. Shift D. We have on layer 1 the high poly house with 13,000 words. Then we have here on the fourth layer the middle poly house with 3,000, and we move that here now to the fifth layer. Here we have the 3,200, and now we try to reach some like 600 or 300 in optimal. So what we have to do for that, all that we don't need, we must kill there what is too much. So that means all the stones here that are very too much. So I only get what I need really. So the roof I need, yeah, that is the bad thing about that here. I better take the unbaked one, but this is all baked now. Wow, shit. Okay, I don't have the other one. That's the bad news. So I moved them to the fifth layer there. So I must make it manually. It counts a little bit longer, but okay, that's it. So we have to get here each stone, everything that goes there. That all and the windows, all this stuff must go. You can imagine that counts now time. And for each that's bad. And we had the original materials from before. You can select all stones, so all stones are go. But we haven't it here, and so that's the problem. So we delete that, and only that left that is really the base mesh that we need for a low poly house. So that is all too high poly. So we can get them all away. Here's the class left. So then this candle we get complete done down, and all this other stuff there that we take only as a texture, so it looks like it is there but it isn't there, because that one needs really much words and we don't have so much words to give. So that one here we don't need two. There are two. Then the stones again. And then we have it. Wow, that was too fucking stuff, too much. Oh wow, don't make me angry. Very bad, very lucky. What should it be? Okay, we can go with hardware if you want. No problem. And here you see down under them there is nothing. There are the black rests of that. That means it was only baked there. If it is not there, then is there nothing black. So only that left, and you see the count is less. We had 1300 at the moment, so that can be a good count when we have get them all away. So nearly done. That is with holded L. You can go over them, then it marks the object complete that you click the L on. So we have now 162. That is the password count we have for that. So we have closed here now all holes. So that is enough. That is the base mesh, now the low poly mesh. You see, it is really the lowest as we have. Less isn't possible and isn't needed. So we have that. File, save. What's that here? Like something. There is some faces that we don't need, so delete that. Good. Good. File, save. Now we make it as ever. We go here to the high poly object on layer 1. Take the camera and to open the panel, bring that all the X to 90, the Y to 0, the Z to 0. Now the cam looks from front. We need another resolution because of texture, so 1024 to 1024. Then we need here the cam and orthographic view, numpad 0 to jump in the cam, then the orthographic scale as high that the house goes completely in. That's the high poly, don't forget that. So that is how it looks in the moment. Here we see we have little tiling problems or such that I must correct before. That is the roof, I think, and the shop. Yeah, the shop here is now the problem that he goes with these values of the other one that we don't want. So we go here back to location 0, Y 0, here to 1, and here to 1, and then we have it there. Then the roof tiles, I think there is something that is 100 here. I think that is very too less, so 1. Try 1 and 1, so that are bigger. I think that can work here. Good, that was it. Now we can hide that panel with N, and now we only have to render F12 from front. Oh, here seems to be some errors. Let me have a look. These parts here are not completely in the wall, I think, so 3 from side view. Then we mark here all with background selection, that we get them. So then we don't need that from the pipe there, so we have to disable these words. So I think we only got now these other parts there. So we try to get them more into the wall. So grab Y, I think. That's good, and that here is too much out. I think that is turned or something else there. I must look here. Yeah, it's turned. That is bad. So we have to select them, incomplete, and bring them to correct lineup. So 7W, there we see it, but we have the other selected with us. That is bad. So we only need here stone. Not that one, but that one. So W, and now rotate Z to bring them more in, but we see there is something other wrong. Think it is the wall. Yeah, the wall is dashed into, so we bring them simply out. Then that should work. But here is something else, that the wall is not constrained. And I search now the part where I can control that. Yeah, that here is it. Now that fits a little bit better, but it's worse. That don't makes me feel so good. Normally we must completely change it. Because there can only be one plane there. Then it's okay, all other will make problems later. We have that here and that here. So scale Y0, then they should be on the same high and all should be fine. Good, we have done that. So again, render. Yes, that's better. But here this middle part looks creepy. Let's look what is there. It's the wall tiles. So we get to the wall. Think they are too small, so I get it from scale to 1. Yeah, and that worked. Okay, so we have healed that too, like Majestics. We save it and render F12. Yeah, that was because we changed for the middle poly house the textures, the nodes, and that changed their nodes too. That is simply why that is. So we have rendered that. So we can image save as image and call it front next house to JPEG. View front, okay, legal. Then we bring it the cam behind the house and rotate Z 180 to turn it around, numpad 0 to jump into the cam, and F12 to render. That's now the same procedure as in all the other optimized tutorials from St.Michel. But you see today the other method with normal unwrap, and that's much more work, I think, so I love this version to make that much more. That here's the back. Next house 2, then 3 on the numpad. We are on the side, so we can take here the cam, rotate Z 90 degrees, and then rotate Z 180 degrees. Then we are on the left side, and we see here that should come a little bit more into. So we get your background selection with grid selection, border selection, bring that into, bang, done. Hope the other one does that too, but we will see. F12 to render. I still, yeah, from front is the right side. Eagle. They are both same. Save as, we call it right side. And then we go to the other side. For me now the left side. So rotate set 180, numpad 0, go in and render. Don't fear, the stones are a little bit big. Yeah, they are a little bit, but there are houses between on the left and right, so you don't see what is there. Good image, save as, that is then the left. So we have now from the high poly house all sides as a texture. Now we go to the low poly model, that's that one here. That has this baked texture, we don't need. We need now our front, all this 4 rendered parts. So we take a principal shader, we take here a high roughness, we take the image, we take the front of the house, we call it front house 2. Then we have to say them where that should be placed. So we mark here with all faces, without behind faces, only that faces, and unwrap that from view. So we can go here in our UV image editor. That is not the picture we use here, so we can X that, and we search our front picture. So we call it front, view front, next house. There is it. A to select all and simply scale up and position it where it should be. And then we have the house plugged there. I think that's much faster than this other UV unwrapping. So plus new back house should be principal shader, high roughness, the image, and it should be the back. So back house. So we go to back view. That is control 1 on numpad. And there we can select that both simply. And unwrap from view. Go to back house, assign. Then take here all with A. We get that picture away with X. And we take our back picture. There is it back. Then we scale here that up and grab it where it should be. Done. Good. Then to numpad 3, that is the right side of the house. So plus new right house 2. And we take here principal shader again, the high roughness, the image, it should be the right one, so open right. Then we go into edit mode, deselect all with A, and then we take this faces on the right side, and there is some that we have to give them color with this side. That means that one have to be the same color as here before, and sure here what is inside. is behind them, and it should be there too, and also from the other side. That's all that looks from that direction should have that color that we have built it there. So that was it, I think. Yes. Good. Now we can say here should be the right sign. And we take all. We have to unwrap from view, and then we kick that here, and we take the right side here and scale that up and place it where it should be. And then we have the right side too. Wonderful. Now the other side, that is then Control 3 on the numpad, A to deselect all, then border selection with faces. Here we have the same, that one should be selected with the AR behind them and become the same material there. Here we have done that, so we don't have to do it again. So that becomes a new material plus new left house 2 principal shader high roughness image open should be left. We take a sign and U unwrap from view. So we have it here, A to select all, kick that house and open up the left house and scale that up that it fits and position it, and then we have it. Now we have here this low poly house that looks like a middle poly or high poly house, but with 69 faces. That is real record. File, save. Nice. That was it to make a high poly model, a low poly model, a middle poly model, and a low poly model. So think on that. We see us in the next tutorial.